We present to you Tales of the Coffinverse. That's right. It's your boy Brian Pulido, and I am here with
Mike MacLean.
What's up, everybody? We are here to discuss this cool new book that we just dropped into the Lady to Sacrificial Annihilation Kickstarter campaign. And that book is Tales of the Coffinverse. Tales of the Coffinverse. If sacrificial annihilation wasn't big enough, we just dropped an all-new 24-page story that greatly expands the Coffinverse. Mike, what was it like writing this project? How do you feel?
I got to say, this was one of the most fun projects that I've worked with at Coffin, exploring these brand new characters, and they're just a blast. I mean, you can look at each one, and they're just so unique, and they're all in their own little genres. It was just a blast, and I'm really hoping people have as much fun with it as we had making it up.
So check it out. This book, Tales of the Coffinverse, is available now as an add-on on the Sacrificial Annihilation campaign, and here's how it goes. Feast your eyes on the Premier Edition. The Premier Edition is only a $5 add-on, and inside that, you're going to get the stories that we're just about to tell you about now. Also available for those of you who like first appearances, key appearances. We've actually created editions for each character. So let's go through the stories that we are unveiling in Tales of the Coffinverse one by one. The first one being Lady Gunfighter. Lady Gunfighter. Now I'm going to ask Mike to discuss this particular story. The Lady Gunfighter edition is available as an add-on as well, or part of the entire set. But please feast your eyes on a page of Lady Gunfighter, written by Mike MacLean and myself, illustrated by Joel Gomez, colored by Beth Sotelo, and lettered by veteran letterer Marshall Dillon. Mike, take it away and tell the people about Lady Gunfighter.
Well, Lady Gunfighter follows the story of Eliza Ryan. She is a sharpshooter with a mysterious past, and we don't really know how yet, but she has gotten possession of some demonic pistols which fire off cursed bullets. She is cursed to wander the West with these very dangerous weapons. Now, in the story we have here, not to reveal too much, but she is here to avenge her best friend and mentor, and against the Papa Diable.
Papa Diable.
Papa Diable, a villainous gunfighter in his own right. And she is there to, again, avenge her mentor, but something sinister blocks her path. So the question is, will she survive to find vengeance? You'll have to find out.
Now, Lady Gunfighter is actually in Sacrificial Annihilation as well. And this is explained in Tales. The other thing, couple things I'd like to point out about Lady Gunfighter for everybody out there. Number one, this story takes place in the Old West. What year, Mike?
Was it 1866? Arizona?
Right, yep, just about that time in Arizona. And then number two, the aforementioned demon bullets. Lady Gunfighter possesses demonic pistols, and those pistols have bullets that always appear to reach their target. More on that as the story unfolds. That is the first story we'll present to you in Tales of the Coffinverse. Not to be outdone, next we have The Trust. The Trust. Can you believe it? Coffin Comics has the audacity to do a superhero story. This story, written by Mike MacLean and myself, is illustrated by Paolo Pantalena and colored by Chuck Michael Obach and Juan Fernandez. And please take a look at a page from The Trust as Mike explains what the heck they're all about.
Yeah, The Trust is a superhero story like only Coffin can bring you. So it's really a group of outlaw superheroes in Seattle are brought together to fight the insidious evil and supernatural powers of Insurrectus's progeny. These people are obviously, if you look at them, they're all from different backgrounds, different powers. We even have one that is a hellborn tech mage. So they have very unique powers, but they're brought together in order to fight progenies from Insurrectus.
The thing I'd like to say also about The Trust is the story, when you read it, will not go as you expect, number one. Number two, I would like to say that what all these characters have in common is they're outlaws in their own respective way. Now, without giving away names, we do have a patriotic hero in his war dog. We have a Renaissance man. We have a human sympathizing hellborn. We have a South American earth goddess. And we have a Native American supreme soldier. More on The Trust in Tales of the Coffinverse #1, available now on Lady Death's Sacrificial Annihilation. But you know what? That's not all. Next up in this particular story, we have Captain Death. Captain Death. What the heck are we thinking about? Well, Captain Death is an actual character in the Coffin Comics universe. Here is a page from Captain Death, written by Mike MacLean and Brian Pulido, illustrated by Stephen Butler, colored by High Five, and presented to you as a love letter to late 60s Tales of Suspense Captain America, as written by Stan Lee and as illustrated by Jack Kirby, and as colored and presented in this particular style. Mad Mike MacLean, is there anything you want to say about this story?
Well, let's look at the panel we have. Captain Death is in an alternate reality. In World War II, reality is an alternate reality, World War II, with demon-occupied Germany.
That's
so
right.
It's Captain Death, her sidekick Dark, and her ghostly accomplices, the Suicide Jacks. And they are soldiers from different eras. And I got to say, this one was just a blast to write. It was a challenge for Brian and I, but we wrote it very much in the language of a 60s comic book, but with, kind of a more modern sensibility to keep the story moving.
Yeah.
And look at that artwork from Stephen Butler. It just looks like it'll bring you back in time.
So we'll nerd out for an hour or so just on this alone, because Stephen Butler and us, we all love these old comics. So this is definitely a love letter. The only things that I would add is that, yes, indeed, Captain Death is not fighting in World War II. She's fighting in World War Hell. Instead of Nazis, Satanus is taking over the entire European theater, and it's only characters like Captain Death and her sidekick Dark. This story will be the origin of Captain Death. Now, rounding out Tales of the Coffinverse #1 is our final story, Captain Skargrave, Intergalactic Space Pirate. Intergalactic Space Pirate. And please feast your eyes on a page written by Mike MacLean and myself, illustrated by Anthony Spey, and colored by CC De La Cruz. Mike, what would you like to say about Captain Skargrave?
Well, Captain Skargrave takes place in a distant galaxy, the Galaxy Macabre, which is kind of when you mix horror and sci-fi together. And in this particular story, Captain Skargrave and her crew of mercenaries, miscreants, and outlaws are getting a little R&R after a mission. But of course, there's no rest for the wicked. They are beset upon by demonic, horrible forces in the middle of space. So it is just a fun space romp with horror and action, everything you could want out of a comic.
That's right. And all these stories tie into Sacrificial Annihilation, All the characters in Tales of the Coffinverse, you will realize, are fighting the progeny and insurrectuses spread throughout the galaxy and all of reality. We certainly do hope that you enjoy these stories, and if interested, we would present unfolding stories of these characters in the years to come. I myself am tantalized by the whole idea of presenting Captain Skargrave, which we view as a intergalactic horror story. You know, as she traipses around the galaxy macabre, we already have plans for enemies. We're chomping at the bit to tell more stories of each of these characters. So in conclusion, Mike, is there anything you want to say to people about how you would like them to receive Tales of the Coffinverse?
Well, let me tell you one thing. Even though these are made up of short stories, we have packed a lot of action, a lot of story. You can just even tell by the pages you've seen. A lot of excitement per the page, and that was by design. So this is also a thank you to the sworn out there for all their support. And I just hope you love it.
Well, I can't say it any better than Mad Mike MacLean. He's right. We really want you guys and gals out there to love Tales of the Coffinverse. We've put our souls into it. Sometimes this stuff is too much fun. I can't believe it's legal. So please consider our wares. Back Lady Death Sacrificial Annihilation today, and be on the lookout for the add-ons. So let me let you know that these Tales of the Coffinverse are available as a reward set for $80, or they're available as an add-on to existing backers' pledges. The Premier Edition is $5, and each individual character cover is limited to 500 copies and is $20. And they're available individually by your choice as an add-on only. So consider it today. Anything in conclusion?
No, just thank you and sworn.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.